Hi everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. And first, let me start by introducing myself. My name is Jennifer, and I'm the account manager here at Exquitec, handling everything related to business apps. So today we will be discussing Copilot and Business Central and all its core functionalities and features. So, before we start, let me give you a quick brief about us as a company and our services, especially for those who do not know us. Okay, so Exquitec is a Microsoft Advanced specialized partner. We were founded like 15 years ago in 2011, and we started with cloud services in 2014. Our offices are located in UAE, KSA, Levant region, and we have offices in the UK as well. Um, Apart from that, we also support companies that are outside these regions. So you don't have to be in these regions for us to be able to support you. We are also a tier one direct Microsoft partner with many recognitions and specializations, as you can see here. We have many Microsoft achievements, and we were recently named the #1 CSP partner in the SEMA region as well. So let's move forward. Okay, so we cover everything under the Microsoft umbrella, from Microsoft licenses to security, Azure, and as under business apps, we do everything related to Business Central, finance and operations, CRM, Power Apps, Power BI, and much more. So we have a specialized team for every Microsoft solution. We even have our own HRMS solution, which we have built on top of Power Apps, which is directly integrated to your Dynamics ERP solution or any ERP solution. So this is apart from all of the other ready-made solutions that we have done. Like for example, for KSA customers, we have done the Zatka solution. For UAE customers, we have done the e-invoicing solution. So yeah, in the next slide, we will be showing you the entire digital value chain that we cover. Okay. So as you can see here, this is what defines our services. We have advisory sessions, we have the subscription and or licensing part. So many of our customers already know that we are very generous with our discounts when it comes to the licensing and subscription part. We also do implementations for all Microsoft products. We do customizations, activations, and of course, what is mostly important right now is the client success. So we deliver a managed service with proactive monitoring, with dedicated help desk support, and we cover everything from maintenance, patching, user training, and much more. So I kind of want to get to the point of today's webinar, but first, here are a few of our clients across all the industries, people we have worked with for a while now. Okay. All right, so getting to the point of today's webinar, we have Sherbil with us, who is our senior technical consultant. He will be guiding this presentation and he will start with introducing today's agenda. So Sherbil, please, you can proceed.
Hello, everyone. So thank you, Jennifer, a lot. So I'm Sharbi Hlayhel. I'm a senior technical consultant in the Dynamics 365 Business Central, specifically in Exquitec. And today we will be covering the Copilot inside of Business Central. So we'll be discussing what is the Copilot, what is Copilot in Business Central, what are its core Copilot features, its extensibility and the agents. And finally, we're going to discuss the billing and licensing with a final QA and wrap up. So I don't think anybody like has like hasn't experienced AI lately. I think everybody has experienced AI, specifically inside of Microsoft. We're talking about Microsoft Copilot. So to understand Copilot, we have to first understand the broader vision of Microsoft Copilot. So it is designed actually to be your everyday AI companion. So the keyword here is companion. It's not meant to replace the human element. It's meant to work alongside you. It's going to remove all the drudgery, the repetitive, soul-crushing tasks, so you can focus on the creative and strategic work that you were actually hired to do. So when we look at this wheel, actually Copilot isn't a standalone product. It's actually a horizontal layer of intelligence. It sits across the entire Microsoft stack. You can see in the operating system level. You can see it also in the modern work level. You can also see it in the browser even level. But most importantly for today, actually, we're going to look at the business application segment. So this is where Business Central lives. This is the old logo of Business Central, but this was provided by Microsoft. But because Copilot is actually part of this entire ecosystem, it doesn't just know the ERP data. So it stands as a context for the work of all the unified apps, which makes it more powerful than a simple chatbot. So now let's get practical. So what does Copilot do once you log into Business Central? So we like to think that it's more like an assistant with a growing skill set. It's not just one tool, it's a collection of capabilities. It's designed to tackle different types of businesses and challenges. So it can act as a guide. It can explain concepts, helpful to learn new skills. It can help you skip 500-page manuals by just asking it, how do I? And you can get your answer. It can also work as a navigator to help you find using natural language specific record, pages, or product. It can also compare, so it's one of its most powerful financial roles, kind of like an auditor. It can compare and reconcile complex data sets, like matching bank statements to your ledger or e-documents to your purchase order. These tasks usually take hours and are kind of eyeballing data, and Copilot looks to actually simplify them. And as an analyst also, it helps you get insights faster. It takes these long, flat lists of data that we all have in our ERPs. It organizes them into meaningful layouts, and then you can spot the trends immediately. Finally, it's a creator. It suggests, it drafts, and from marketing descriptions to item suggestions, and also the number series. So it provides this critical first draft, so you can never have to start from zero. So to give you a roadmap kind of the next few minutes, I've organized our demo into 3 business areas. So this is the assistive capability grid, if you would like. So we'll start off all with the data and entry. So I'm going to show you how Copilot uses autofill to enrich contact data instantly, and how it handles complex administrative tasks like suggestion name number series. We'll also look at the record summaries, and which will give you like kind of a cliff note version of your customer, items, or any other type of information. Next, we'll move to the sales and marketing. So you will see that Copilot can transform raw item attribute into high quality marketing text. And more importantly, we'll see it into action during suggesting the sales line. So we'll build orders from natural languages. And also we're going to suggest item substitute, so you can never miss a sale due to stock issues. And finally, we'll look into finance and analytics. So this is where the heavy lifting happens. I'm going to show you the Analyst Assist. It turns like massive ledger entry into meaningful reports. And we'll wrap it up with a bank account reconciliation. And Copilot finally will be using like chat with Copilot. And it's going to be kind of a sidecar, helping us find the data across the entire system. So this isn't just a list of features, it's a new way of working. So enough with the slide. Let's jump actually to the demo.
Sharbel, before we start, I think we have 2 questions we might need to address. So, Lizzie is asking if we will be clarifying what is included in the free version and which bits need the paid version of Copilot.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, and Assad is asking how important is prompt writing while using Copilot, and if I want to learn it, what is the best platform for it?
So I'm gonna answer this question in a bit. I'm not gonna
Okay.
give you kind of a spoiler, but let's just say that prompting is very important, but we all know how important it is, and Microsoft has implemented a lot to actually help us with these prompts. So I know some of us are not native English speakers, and even if we are, sometimes we lack the correct words or the correct keywords. So Microsoft took this into consideration, and I'll showcase it in a bit. So starting
Okay.
off, I'm actually gonna dive into the Copilot and agent capabilities. So this is, if you want, like the main area where admins are gonna control the AI that we have. As you can see, we have a lot of information regarding data governance, how our data is processed. We have the capability also to enable and disable the Bing search, and we can find here the agreements that we might need or the privacy statement that we need to search for. And also here, as an admin, you have a total control. So you can activate or deactivate any specific capability globally. So if your organization isn't ready for, let's say, for the chat, you can actually deactivate it. So these are the most standard Copilot features, and they are all included inside of your license if the billing type is not billed. So answering the first question, you have kind of an updated list that is going to appear here. So if the billing type is not billed, this means that this actual feature is going to be free. So we have also here the status, who is the publisher of it. And also we can press on learn more to get more information about this specific capability. So as you can see, we have two types or two categories, the production ready previews and the generally available. So as we know, AI is continually evolving. So some features are still in production ready preview, and some of them are generally available. What we mean by that is that Microsoft actually recognizes that some errors might happen, as with all AIs. So on the previews, they are still under maintenance. They might also change a lot in the future. But for the generally available, we can assume that these features are going to stick like that for the future. So I'm going to start off with the first feature, actually. So I'm going to go to the contact. So I'm going to see how Copilot can actually act as a research assistant. So usually when we have a new lead or a contact, sometimes you only have the name or the company. So when you would need to actually add these information, normally you would have to open a browser, search for their website, find their headquarters and other information. But with the feature of autofill with Copilot, we are able to suggest through the Bing search certain information that we can find based on other information that are provided in the contact card. So as you can see here in the contact card, I have only added my name, I have added my email, and I have added what is my country or region. So as you can see, Copilot was able to add the address of the company where I work. It added also the city. It added the phone number that was available on our homepage and also the homepage. So as you can see here, I am able to decline it. I can accept it. And also I have a full list here available for all the things that I want to keep or discard. So now that we have our contact details, imagine you're a salesperson or account manager. So when you open typically this record, let's say in the first of the month, usually you'd have to scroll through all the list of interactions. So I'm going to showcase a contact that is a bit more heavy on the data side. And when we scroll through these type of information, sometimes we would only need a summary. So instead of digging through all these tabs, I can look at the summary pane. It's Copilot generated, and Copilot has already done the heavy lifting. So it was able to scan the records, the related data. It gave me kind of a concise information. So in under a minute, I've gone from a blank contact card to fully enriched profile. And then I received a strategic briefing on the summary pane. And this is how Copilot transforms Business Central from a typical database into an actual active partner. So it prepares you for your next meeting. So now that we have added our contact, I'm going to go to the number series. So I think it's one of the most critical, but often a bit tedious task in Business Central, kind of that you have to do as an administrator. So it is managing here the number series. So usually setting it up, it requires a lot of data entry, specifically for a new fiscal year. And this manual entry is kind of like defining the new starting number, incrementation, maybe creation of a new number series. Now, actually, with actual Copilot, I'm able to just press on generate. And in here, I'm able to describe the number series using only natural language, and I can predefine what I would like it to do. So answering our second question, we have here the prompt guide. So if the question was like, do you need to be an AI expert to be actually get these results? Well, the answer is no. So Microsoft has built-in assistants to help us with Copilot. So I'm able here to specify whether I would like to create a new, modify existing, or prepare for the next year. So this actual prompt guide is going to help you phrase your request, and you can get these structured templates that are predefined and are continuously being modified actually. So let's say that I would like to prepare a number series, but I would not like to add actually the number series for the sales module. I would only wanted to add it for the sales code. So let's say I want to prepare the number series. I can edit the prompt that was already given, and I would like to modify the sales code for the next year. So once I press on generate, as you can see, it is looking, generating, and most of these information specifically for the number series are actually they are received from the setup. So we had a kind of a misshape that usually doesn't happen, but with AI sometimes we will have issues. So I'm gonna try it again. Let's try with a quick refresh. Actually, let me take the time actually to showcase to you what was already implemented. Let's go to the sales code. So this is the sales code that has been already done. And I think most of you know that by the lines, we are able to see that the starting date that for this specific number series is on the 1/1/2026. And the starting number is SQ26001. So I'm gonna now try to generate it again. I'm gonna prepare for next year. And I'm gonna say here, okay, perfect. So as you can see here, this is still in preview stage, so we might face issues and we might have different, like based on the time that you're going to use it, different results because this is still a work in progress. But as you can see here, for the generated number series, I was able to get 3 suggestions. As you can see here, it changed the starting number. So before we had the SQ 26, and now it's 27. And it added the increment, which is based on what was previously given. And I'm actually able to delete the lines that I would not like to have. So if I delete both of these lines and I try to keep this one, as you can see here, the sales code has been updated automatically. So now I have SQ271001. So this is kind of a configuration that is usually tedious, and usually we need to do it on a number series basis. But as you can see with the prompt, we are able to select either a whole module or even prepare all of these number series for actually the next year. So after we have prepared for our quotations, typically what we will need to go is actually to the items. So let's look at actually how we're going to be selling them. So imagine a company is launching now a new product line. Let's say it's the Athens desk. And usually setting up these new items is a heavy manual process. But let's see now how Copilot can actually help us transform these raw item information into actually fully marketed products in a second. So now after I opened it, you can see that I also have here the summary. It was able to indicate that I have 510 quantity on hand, the unit price, and other information. But now if I scroll a bit lower, I'm able to see here the marketing text. So I'm gonna here try to say to draft with Copilot. So now I need kind of a compelling way or a compelling information to add it onto my, let's say, e-commerce. So after I created the draft, Copilot has suggested that this is the most perfect marketing text. And I'm not going to read it a lot, but we can see that there's a lot of information that is given. But let's say that this tone maybe is too formal. So when I press on the formal here, or on the tone here, I am able to actually change what tone I would like it to have. So let's say I would like to be more creative. Let's say our target audience isn't more professional people, but more creative people. So as you can see here, I am able to regenerate what was previously done. And I'm able here also to navigate on the previously one and on the current one. So let's say you would like to take some of them, add them, and you are able to keep it. But like let's get more powerful actually. So if I press on the edit prompt, I can see that the item attributes, or specifically where the Copilot is taking the information, is actually all listed here. So if let's say I would not like to include the certification, I am able to here disable it, and then once I regenerate it, then I'm actually able to regenerate a new template but doesn't include the certification. So let's say the first one was with the certification, but this isn't actually important for your marketing text. And once you regenerate it, you're going to have a new one. Of course, we can also change the format and the emphasis. And here, the rich text, we are able to include our own information if we would like to add it. And now, let's say I would like to keep it. So we've gone now from raw technical data into a high quality branded marketing description. This is ready actually for our workshop. So let's say now that this great marketing text is actually great at getting us sales. But what would happen when this marketing is, let's say, too successful and you run out of stock? We saw in the summary that we had 510 units, but if a massive order comes in, we would need a backup plan. So let's look into how Copilot can help us manage the item substitutions. So by going into the typical feature of Business Central, which is the substitution, I'm able here to maybe, let's say, memorize a whole catalog by heart and then enter them manually here. So instead of that, I can also press on Copilot and suggest with Copilot. So looking at the suggestion, Copilot just gave me like not only the items that have the same description. As you can see here, I had the Athens desk, but for the description of this suggested item, it is a mobile pedestal or maybe an Antwerp conference table. So this is the important part, that neither of these items actually have desk in their name. So a traditional text or a traditional search would have given you no result, but with Copilot, it knows that Athens mobile pedestal is part of the same product family. It recognizes that a conference table is a logical functional alternative, and now it was able to suggest it based on the item category, on the attributes, and also into the relationships. And between all of these products that we have, it suggested those. But I'm also able to view lines with confidence. So now if I regenerate it, I'm able to see that for the first item, it had a high confidence that this is the perfect substitute for it. And the second one has a low confidence. So now I can change the permissive or the precise, which will change actually the threshold. So more permissive is going to allow a lower one, a lower confidence item, and more precise is going to only allow the high confidence with a threshold of around 80 or 85. So I can insert them here all. And as you can see, now the substitution are available without having to manually add them. So we have now our contact, we have enriched our item data, and we even prepared our backup plan with substitution. But now let's see how it all comes together. So let's say the customer is gonna contact us, and I'm gonna go to a sales order. And let's say you are on a call with a customer and he requested that we add a new line. So let's say I want to suggest a sales line. And the customer actually on the phone, and I was in a rush, he told me that, oh, I need 5 conference and let's say desks. So as you can see, I made a mistake because I was in a rush. And when I press on generate, Copilot was actually able to disregard my issue. It auto-corrected the typo. it understood that the intent was not a table, but a desk. And still, Antwerp conference table is technically a desk. So it recognized that the conference table is the desk, and also the quantity that I said with the actual unit of measure. So this is a huge shift of how we interact usually with our ERP system. So you no longer have to be perfect for the system to understand you. You can talk to Business Central like you are talking to one of your colleagues, and it handles the translation to the technical data for you. So again, in here, if I'm gonna go back, I have here the prompt guide, which will help me either copy or add lines. And I'm also able here to attach. So if a customer sends you a long Excel file of PDF of purchase order, you don't even need to type it. You can simply attach the document. Copilot will read the lines, suggest them for you, and you can select whether you confirm or not. It's like having a digital sales assistant that never gets tired of actual data entry. So you review it, you verify the quantity, and not only do you click generate to build orders, it's fast, it's firmly under your control. So sometimes you don't need to just enter these data. Sometimes you need to also find it or understand the process. So instead of actually digging through the manual or running a complex report, you can just ask, let's open the Copilot pane, and we can either ask it for information to bridge gaps. It can also help us find, and we can also get some explanations. So let's say there is a certain module that you do not know how to use. You can use the explain guide. You can ask it. And also here we have the guide of the prompts and also sometimes the suggestions of what your next prompt will actually be. So in here, I have predefined a new prompt. So let's say I would like it to show me the customers grouped by their country and zip code. And as you can see in the first pane right now, I am not actually in the foreground in the customers list. So this is the most important part of your daily productivity. Copilot, or the chat specifically, it stays in the background while I stay in the foreground. So in here I can continue my work while Copilot is actually doing its work in the background. I don't have to close the sales order I'm working on. I can keep the chat pane open. So let Copilot do all the heavy lift. And it's like having a second set of hands without actually having to use it. So as you can see here, the suggestion is that I can view the customer group by country and region. And it didn't give me just a list. It actually recognized that I'm asking for a data analysis. So it intelligently suggested that I need to use the analysis assist on the customer's page. So it opened the customer's page with a single click. And I was able to get here the customers with the zip code and the name. So I'm gonna try to push Copilot a bit further. So let's say I would like to showcase, let's say, a multi-layered request. So I would like it to show me the customer ledger entries for Adatum from about 1 year and 3 months ago. So typically what a human would have to do is to calculate the date, navigate to the customer ledger entries, maybe also apply a filter, and apply a date filter for the specific window. So I'm gonna also showcase one thing. Some of you with the keen eyes will be able to recognize them, but since we have that now, we have a preview of some of the invoices that are found, but I'm also able to press on the customer ledger entry pages, which will also open for me the customer ledger page, and it's actually gonna prompt the Copilot to actually do the process for me. Okay, so as we said, this is also in preview state, so we might expect some problems, but now, as you can see in the analysis view, I was able to see the customer since I opened it in analysis view. And if I close it, I'm able also to see here that the customer name is actually filtered. which is Adatum. And for the posting date, it posted from the 1st of March 26 till the 31st of March 2026. Now you're gonna tell me that you prompted for 1 year and 3 months ago. That's correct. It's only because when you are using actually a demo account, typically Microsoft uses a work date that is in the future just to keep you from actually using this demo data as your current data. But whenever you're using it on your own system, it's going to be 100% accurate. But what's more important is that this 1 year, 3 months ago, it was actually translated into a filter that is the posting date and with the actual posting date that is in the past. So now let's take it a bit further. I'm gonna go actually to the item ledger entry. So how can we use this to actually analyze a massive list of transactions just to find a trend maybe? So instead of usually what you would do is to go and export this data to Excel, you would need to use analyst and pivots on Excel. With the capability of analyze, we are able here to use also an extra added benefit, which is actually Copilot. And once I pressed on analyze list, I also have here the prompt guide, and I can do all sorts of things such as adding structure, sorting, adjusting layout, and adding more data. So let's say right now I would like to group by, and I would like to group it by document type. So Copilot is right now going to think about what I said. It took the natural language and it was able to showcase it here that the document type with the purchase receipt with a certain drill down. So these are all based on my natural language. But let's say that I would like to create kind of a more sophisticated analysis. So often the data that you need isn't all in a single table. For example, let's say in this item ledger entry, typically the customer name is not available. We would be relying on the source number. And what you would need to do is either use Power BI or maybe a VLOOKUP. But what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to generate a new analysis, which I can also press from here. And I'm going to give it kind of a more advanced prompt. Just for the sake of time, I wrote it before. So what I would like to see is the total quantity, where the document type is sales shipment, group the results by the customer name, and I would like to see the name actually. So once I press on generate, let's look first at the name. This is like a column that is not available in the item ledger entries. It recognized that it needs to give you the customer name. It linked it actually to another table, which is the customers table. It automatically identified that the relationship is actually based on the source number, which I can see here. And I didn't have to tell it to join the table. It understood just from my natural language that the data scheme that I would like it to actually show me. So as you can see here for Adatum, I have this sum of quantity. So after we have managed our inventory, we have sold our product, we analyzed, let's say, the performance with our analysis, the business cycle isn't actually complete until the money is actually in our banks. So books like that are a bit traditional to maintain. So the bank account reconciliation specifically is one of the most time-consuming tasks in finance. So I have opened here one example that we have. And typically in Business Central, we have the capability to use matching that is automatically. So I'm gonna now give you kind of a demo. I'm gonna try to import a bank statement. It's a simple bank statement that has 3 lines. The first one for 750, the second for 3,500, and the last one for minus 25. And what I would like it to reconcile is actually the bank account ledger entries on the right. So I'm gonna try now to do the automatic matching. This is the standard matching that is inside of Business Central, and I'm gonna have a tolerance day of 10 days to kind of give it more of a chance. So as you can see here, 2 reconciliation lines out of the 3 are matched. So the text is just because I had an empty line. But now let's say that I would like to step up a bit more. So if I press reconcile with Copilot, it's going to tell me that there are certain statements that are currently matched. So do I want to override these matches? I'm going to press yes. And then instantly, Copilot is able to actually match our proposal. So on our bank statement, we had a single wire for 3,500. So the system did not actually match it to the other lines. Instead, Copilot analyzed our bank account ledger entries on the right, and then it realized that we don't have a single $3,500 entry. We have three separate ones. So if I press on the proposal, I'm able to see that it proposed a money to one match. So this is a massive time saver for businesses. So those receives of lump sum payments for multiple invoices can be now tackled using the power of AI. So Copilot is transparent about this logic. I can drill down, I can check it, I can also keep it, I can discard it. And as you can see now, the whole statement has been reconciled. So now that we've seen Copilot in action, I want to put what we just saw into a broader context. We are currently witnessing a massive shift into how we interact with our ERP system. We call this the trajectory of intelligence. We have the smart data entry. We have also the insights and generation, the workflows, and the background agents. But notice when we actually go to the higher end of this arrow. So it's actually specifying the background agents and the bespoke autonomy. So we are moving away from the AI that you have to ask or the AI that's going to be assisting you towards more of an AI that can work while you are sleeping. The future isn't just about a chatbot, it's about autonomous agents that can handle end-to-end workflows on your behalf. So you're going to ask me, what are these autonomous agents? So let's think of a copilot as someone sitting in the passenger seat. It's going to help you navigate. It's going to tell you where to go. But on the other end of the spectrum, we have the agent that is the self-driving car. It can operate in the background. It can be triggered by business events. It doesn't need most of the time the actual manual entry or prompt from the user. So right now in Business Central, we have the sales order agent. So this agent will help you, instead of manually running the suggesting line that we did, to actually interpret the incoming inboxes and interpret the emails, check what is the RFQ, and then validate the stock availability that you have, draft maybe a sales order, and all you have to do is just press a post. So you don't even need to have to do anything while you are working on the foreground. Now, the second type of agent is actually the payable agent. This is the procure to pay champion. So it extracts the data from the vendor invoices. It matches them against the purchase order or receipts. It flags discrepancies. It only interrupts you when something needs to be done. So finally, we also have the custom agent. This is the ultimate mic drop. So if your business has a unique logic, maybe a specific warehouse validation, maybe a complex ISV extension that maybe we have done for you, you aren't stuck with only the off-shelf AI. So using Copilot Studio, we can also build a bespoke agent grounded in your specific Business Central data and custom tables based on your needs. This is actually in the preview state because this has just been added recently. And also, there's a lot of new agents that are being added on a day-to-day basis. So this is our goal. We are trying to move from a software that you have to operate to an intelligence that can operate for you. So now I'm going to showcase to you a demo that has been created by Microsoft for the actual agents. So in here, I have an account payable administrator that works for Java. And this account payable administrator would like to streamline their vendor invoice processing. So in your system, as you can see, this is identical to your system. I would go here to the payable avatar. I'm able actually to activate it. And then I will have the configuration panel. So this is the payable agent that can monitor a mailbox for incoming, maybe vendor invoices. So I will proceed by selecting which email account that I would like to monitor. I will press on OK. And now I have selected that this actual mailbox will be monitored by the payable agent. And then the payable account administrator will have to activate the monitoring feature by turning just this switch. So as you can see, once I turn this switch on, the payable agent has been activated. So now the user, let's say her name is Megan, is going to be able to adjust the settings of the payable agent as it requires. So now I'm going to update it. And as you can see now, we have also the terms and conditions that are generally sent from Microsoft, and we're going to accept them. And now with the payable agent configured, Megan can close now the agent panel. So in a typical way, now you would be using your system, maybe modifying items, maybe doing other things in the foreground. But as you can see on the top right now, I have an alert that the payable agent avatar needs my attention. So in the taskbar here, I'm able to see that I have a new email from Bryce Jasso, and it's a known vendor contact. So if I press on it, I can either read the summary that the Copilot gave me, or I can review it. And once I review it here, I can see that it has the email, the subject, also the body, and I'm able also to drill down into the PDF that has been sent inside the email. So as you can see here, I have a PDF invoice that was sent from the actual vendor, and I'm able to recognize, or actually Copilot agent is able to recognize this invoice using OCR. So now if I'm gonna close this, and I'm going to be happy with what I received, let's say there is no issue in what was sent, I'm able to confirm it. And then after doing some work, the agent is going to request extra information from me. So as you can see here, it has checked the invoice, it checked the document, and then it requested some help from me. This is all happening in another pane. I can continue my work on the original pane, but also at the same time, I can work on the second pane. So once I review it, you can see here that in the purchase document draft that was created, based on the optical character recognition that was extracted from the invoice, I got kind of a message telling me that this data was read actually from a PDF. So you will definitely need to check for accuracy. You would need to check the AI because sometimes the generated content might not be accurate. So once you can see also the PDF on the right with an attachment, I'm gonna now close it just so I can have more view. And I can see here that I have 4 icons for information. So let's say I'm gonna create a press on the design. So it matched the logo design that was inside the document that was shared to an actual account that is called an allocation account design. So the vendor doesn't know what account you have, it doesn't specify it, but with the power of Copilot, it was able to recognize that this is the actual design account that should be handled. As you can see also, it added the quantity, the unit price, and also the typical information. Now, also, when it comes to the shipping fee, it was able to recognize that this is a freight and fee of goods. So now I have all this information. I checked also certain information aspects. So let's say this is a lease for 12 months. It recognized that it needs a deferral code for 1 year. So this is kind of highlighting the powerful accounting knowledge that agents bring to Business Central. So let's say now that we are happy with this draft. When we confirm, the agent is going to finalize it, and it's going to showcase here that we are able to press on it. So let's say I'm going to press on finalize, and in here I can see that the purchase invoice has been created for me with all the information that were set previously. And of course, if I am happy with what is done, I can post it. In case I need to modify anything, I am able to modify it. And this is the power that I was talking to. Most of these things were happening in the background. All I was doing was actually just checking and reviewing. Now, I'm gonna move to a demo that I actually will be doing it in front of you. Now, keep in mind that what we are doing is in a preview stage, but I'm also confident enough to showcase it for you. So I'm gonna go now to the typical, let's say you enter the system after a day of not working, and you have seen that you have a sales order agent notification. So previously we were working with the payable accounts, payable agents. Now we're working with the sales agent. I have pre-configured it and already sent myself an email just kind of to gain some time because we don't have a lot of time. And as you can see here, I have a task that requires my attention. So as you can see here, also we have the previous tasks that have been done. I did kind of a demo or kind of a test beforehand just to make sure everything is working correctly. But not only am I able to see what is currently happening and what happened before, I'm also able to stop them. And maybe if I had multiple things happening concurrently, I would have a different number here and more tasks happening at the same time. Now, I'm gonna try to make it a bit simpler, but it's a bit kind of a task that you will typically actually have to go through, which is an incoming request for a quotation. So this actual request, I received it on my other email account. So as you can see here, I sent, hope you are doing well. I've bought many chairs from you, and I am actually on the lookout for a swivel chair. So if I go here and review, I'm able to see the same body. I'm able to see who is it from, when it was created, when it was received, and if there was any attachment to it. Now, either here I can accept it and continue. I can decide later if I don't have enough information to handle it, or I can give the agent actual extra instructions. Now, I'm gonna let it continue. And as you can see, it's working now in the background while I can continue doing my work without any interruptions. Now, it's gonna take a bit of time and I don't wanna lose a lot of time. So in the meantime, I'm gonna try to show you how the configuration is done. So as you can see here, I have the activate, which I showed you for the payables. We have also the mailbox that has been selected, some extra information such as the summary and important information. I can decide who has access to it, and I can decide what language it will operate in. Now, if I go to the next page, here is where autonomy is actually decided. So what we are showcasing here with my input is actually that I have to review every single message the Copilot has given me. Now, I know that some of you will be actually intrigued to do it, to let it do its work by itself. I do not recommend this just now. For me, if you are already implementing this or you are trying to use it, give it a try with the all review to make sure that it's working as you are or as you expected, because the sales order agent will actually be able to operate and understand and actually grow with your requirements, with your data, and with the way that you are actually working. I am also able to review only the first message that I received, or I can give it the advanced no review, which will let it operate autonomously. Now, as you can see, I have a new attention. The notification also appeared on the top. I'm going to press here, and I'm able to review it. Now, I can see here a summary. So the Copilot agent is now providing a list of swivel chair options with description, prices, units, and offer to provide formal quotation upon request. So I'm going to try to review it. And as you can see here, it created a message for me. And it added certain information, like if you would like a formal quotation, I'm able to review it, some details in here. And right now I do not have any attachment, but I'm also able to see some of the previous messages. I think this is the typical workflow that an operator with a lead would be actually going through. I can modify what I would like to modify in here, of course, before sending it. But let's say I'm going to send it just as it is, and I'm going to continue. Now, while it's doing its magic in the background, I'm going to continue speaking a bit about the sales order agent. There is also a difference between the messages from the people who are already registered, and there are also messages from unregistered senders. So in here, I have different modes. Maybe let's say this client wasn't actually with us previously. I'm able to select a different type of configuration from the clients that are already in my system. So now, I'm gonna try to open the email again and to showcase it to you that, as you can see, the email has been sent without me even opening the actual email or like the Outlook application. So this is the same information that has been sent previously. And what would typically happen is a customer would take some time, but I'm gonna be the customer that is always ready. So I'm gonna send an email actually from my account. So let's give it just 1 second. Okay. So the email has been sent. I'm gonna wait a bit for Outlook to showcase it here. As you can see, I got the response from myself that I would like to order 17 London swivel chair. Could you please send me a quotation? So I think usually you would have more information, but let's say this is a user that doesn't like to write a lot, so he just added some information without including any attachment, just a typical text or a natural language. So if I go again to my Business Central, I'm able here that I received a new message from myself. So the user is actually, so let's say the client is requesting a quotation for 17 London swivel chair. So what I will do is I will review it. Maybe this guy is a scammer that I would like to maybe decide later or not interpret it or just leave it. Or I'm going to say, let's say that I would like to continue. Keep in mind that you are able to give instructions to the agent. So let's say that you can give him maybe a certain discount. You can give him maybe extra information that, oh, we do not have 17. These information would typically be appearing in the like a suggestion from Copilot. But for now, for the sake of the demo, I'll just continue. Okay, so as you can see here, the task is still in progress. The steps will appear as we said in here, or if you are doing any work in the foreground, it's not going to interrupt you. Now, as you can see, some of the configuration we are able to select is that we can only select the only available items. So when the sales order agent is going to suggest the items, it's only going to suggest the items that I have in stock. But what you can also do is to include the capable to promise items. So in here you are specifying that maybe I don't have this item right now, but I do not want it to interrupt the flow. So I'll just allow it to include the capable to promise since I am able to actually buy them. So now as you can see, Copilot agent has drafted for me a sales code. It has selected who is the client, selected the contact and the customer name. Some information. The document date is based on the demo account date, but also as you can see here, the agent is waiting for me for certain information. The first information is actually they have two information. So if I press on the first one here, I'm able to see that it added a line for 17 London swivel chair. And also there's a disclaimer that some of the content might be incorrect, which allows you to actually modify them. But I'm also able to review next, which is telling me that these are the 17. So it recognized only from a single line, and it has generated a whole sales document from a single reply from the email. So as you can see, also we have the summary preview here in case we need to add it. And it selected the correct item, it selected the correct contact, the correct customer, and also the correct quantity, and also the unit of measure. So in here, let's say I do not want to change anything. I'm able to press on continue. And now again, the Copilot agent is working in the background while I continue to do my work in the foreground. I'm actually pretty happy about this. That's why I say it multiple times, because like I can just hide it if I need the full page, and you literally have a second page or a second actually set of workers that are working in the background. This is now on a maybe scale of one customer or one client. Imagine if you have 50 clients that are all requesting quotations at the same time. Imagine the scale of what AI is capable to do. Of course, with your review, I would need to emphasize that I still think you need to review them, but of course you are able to select that you do not want to review them. Now in here also we are able to select in the configuration whether I would like to create the sales codes, whether I would like to review them, and whether I would need to send the quotation, and if the agent is able to do an order from the quotation. So now I'm going to review what Copilot did in the background. So it created an email, it added a message, it added the item, it added the subtotal and the total, and also, as you can see here, we have for the previous messages the whole flow that happened beforehand, and also an attachment, which I can either see from here or also from the top. I can see show attachment, sales code PDF, and this PDF is generated from the report that is inside of your Business Central. So let's say you have a custom report that we have created for you or we have developed for you. It will appear here as your custom actual report with the correct London swivel chair, 17 pieces, and the information that you have requested. And also here we have the actual customer and contact. So I'm going to close it and I'm going to let it now continue. Now, continuing my work in the foreground, I'm gonna go to codes. I'm gonna check the sales codes. I can see that there is a new sales code that is appearing here. It is actually the swivel chair with the quantity of 17. How awesome is that? So let's give it a bit of time. I think I should receive an email in the coming minutes. Pop, pop, pop. It actually is instant. So as you can see here, I have the sales quotation that has been sent to my actual client. It has the information that was requested. And let's say I'm gonna reply to him. I liked what he has given me. So I'm gonna reply and just tell him I confirm. Now let's give it just a short minute for it to appear here. One thing to note is in case you are not using Outlook and you are using any third-party like a mailbox, or maybe you have a mailbox that is hosted locally, Copilot will still work as long as it's added to your tenant. So in here, I just got a confirmation from the client that this is what he needs. And I'm gonna go back to Business Central, give it kind of a minute to check the review process, because kind of it happens through monitoring. And I'm gonna use this time to showcase a bit more information. So in here, I selected the demo for the mailbox. Of course, you need to have a mailbox and a license for the user or the kind of email that you're using. You are able to specify here which folder the agent is actually only capable of checking. So let's say you do not want it to check all the inboxes. You want to specify which one it can only check. And here I'm able to let it analyze some of the documents, and specifically these three types of like formats, the PDF, PNG, and JPEG. And also I'm able to specify what is the processing limit. So as you can see here, now I received a confirmation, and there is a task that is happening right now in the background. I do not need to interfere with it, but I also have here some details, some documents that I can check, some messages that I can check. Everything is available here. And let's say finally in the sales order agent, we have here the signature. So we are able to include a custom signature for the replies. And I'm able also here to edit it. So in case the user, or let's say the agent that you are using, you would like it to have a certain kind of signature that will happen in the end. Some of them include, like this email has been created by AI, but it was reviewed by us, or certain disclaimers if you need to be GDP compliant. So these information you can actually add them to the signature. So I'm gonna give it a bit of time to actually go through the request, and I'm gonna try to showcase in the meantime the typical flow that Microsoft has included. So you would send the request as a client, you would review it, confirm it, and go through all these. We're not going to go to the final step just because it's going to take some time, and I don't think we have a lot of time actually to continue. But I'm going to showcase also a bit the pricing that is typically shown. So as you can see here inside of the Copilot Studio, I'm able to select the pay-as-you-go, the pre-purchase plan, which I'm going to discuss later. But just that in case you were wondering about specific numbers, I'm unable to give them to you because based on your regions, and I know there's a lot of you coming from multiple regions, the prices are going to differ. But I'm going to specify later on what is the difference between them. But I would encourage you to go to this list and to check either the pre-purchase plan or the pay-as-you-go to get more information based on your region and information. Now, the task is taking a bit of time. So I'm gonna try to showcase maybe another one just for the sake of time that has been done previously. I followed the same steps. You are able to check them here, all the same steps until the sales quote, and then the customer has actually confirmed. So as you can see, I got the confirm and acceptance, and then the sales order will be created. I actually deleted them just so I can showcase it to you, but Let's hope that this one is going to be a bit faster. Maybe give it a refresh. Okay, so as you can see here, we got the confirmation. I'm gonna let it continue. I'm gonna actually use the time to showcase one more thing in here. I typically don't add it just because I think every person has a different type of work, but at the same time, this is something provided by Microsoft. So in this page in Microsoft Learn, I'm able here to recognize what type of credits or the number of credits that are used. So as you can see here now, we are using the sales order agent. It was analyzing the incoming mails. So for each incoming mail, it actually consumed 2 credits. It processed the attachment, which will take also 2 units. It maybe checked the item availability, which would take 5 credits, and generating answers, which will typically take like 2 credits. So in here, Microsoft has suggested that an average usage is around 100 requests per month. So you should be expecting around 1,650 Copilot credits per month to be able to do like 100 requests for like to operate the sales order agent. And we also have here the payable agent, which based on the suggestion of Microsoft, you will need to use around 6,500 Copilot credits per month. So just a quick indication, you do not have to operate both of them. You are able to disable them, and you have actually the capability to not go over the allocated credits that are allocated to you per month. But I'm going to discuss this a bit later. Now we're going to see here that Copilot was able to generate for me a new sales order. This is the sales order for myself. This is the contact. This is the code that it was based on. And here I can see the item, the quantity, also other information. I can modify what I would like to modify. I can edit what I would like to edit. There is also here the autofill with Copilot in case I can get extra information from it. I can also with the pane see some of the summary that has been added. And finally, I'm gonna not give it any instruction for the meantime, just confirm it and continue. So now what Copilot is gonna do in the background, it's gonna take this sales order. It's going to compile it into maybe an email that is going to be sent to the client to showcase what has been requested. And I'm not going to continue actually the flow to the end. I'm going to give you a bit of curiosity, not because it doesn't work, it actually does work, but because I would like to invite you also to try it yourself to see how the different responses will happen, how you or the system will actually handle it, and also maybe give us your feedback in case you would like to see certain things maybe in a later demo, maybe something tailored towards your requests. Now, what I was actually discussing lastly in here, that some billing method like the pay-as-you-go model is going to be oriented towards a different type of business. So you have to check what I discussed in here, which is either the pre-purchase plan that will give you a certain number of credits, and also, of course, the pay-as-you-go model, which will give you actually the capability to go as much as you want based, of course, on the volume that you have consumed. So in here, I'm going to check the email that the Copilot has generated, also the customer, who is it for, all the information, the attachment, also based on the report that maybe we will develop or that is already included in the system. And I'm just going to give it the heads up, let it go. And now what Copilot will be actually doing is sending this whole email to the client, including the attachment, which can, of course, check it in the sales order in case I want to continue my work from here. As you can see, it's here with the quantity, with the information, in case there is anything to be added, maybe it needs to go to a certain approval request, but all is available for you here. And I'm just gonna go to the email to showcase that it was sent. As you can see here, there's a sales confirmation with all the information. And this is here the attachment. So I hope you like these two demos. I'm gonna talk a bit about the bottom line. It's a common misconception that what AI needs with its major power is the extra price tag. But for Business Central specifically, this message is simple. It's already included inside your Business Central Essential or Premium license in case you are using all the Copilot features that were showcased in the beginning. There is no extra AI tax. There's no extra pay per user. All you have to do is just enable them and you are able to do everything that I showcased in my first demo. Now, a big distinction that we have to keep in mind that the Copilot that is inside of Business Central is not the same Copilot that is in M365 Copilot. So in case you have the free feature that is inside Business Central, there is another license that is the Microsoft 365 Copilot that is like all the add-ons that are on the Word, Teams, Excel, and other platform like the first slides that we showcased. Now, we talked also what is included in like in the free, but also I know that as your business grows, you might want to move to more autonomous agents like the ones I just showcased. So these background workers like the payable and the sales order agents require actually a billing model. They have a billing model. So since they are operating at a very high complex rate, the billing shifts to a per user license to a consumption based model. So think of it like a utility. You only pay for the work that the Copilot actually does. So inside every month, you have an included pool. There is an initial monthly tenant pool for D365 users. It's not only for the premium license, it's also for the essential. You will get pay as you go not pay as you go, sorry, you would have a pool of certain tokens that are available for you to use. So this is going to allow you to test, deploy the agents, see their return on investment maybe, do your analysis, and in case they are profitable for you, maybe you will go and check the other two subscriptions that we have, either a pay-as-you-go subscription that is based on the Copilot Studio. That means every credit that you will be using will have its own pricing. Or in case if you have a volume that you know that you're going to be using or that you need to limit, you are able to go to the prepaid packs. These packs have the certain number of token or credits that are available for you to use every single month. So we've covered a lot of ground today. So from the big picture vision to deep technical details. But I think the most important question right now is how do you actually start? At Exquitec, we don't want this to just be a theoretical workshop. Me alongside my team, we would like you to go back to your desk, actually feel the impact of these tools. Depending on where you are in your journey, we have a clear path for you. So if you are already an Exquitec customer, you are using Business Central, you are ready now. There is no procurement process, no new contracts to sign. All you have to do is go to the admin panel, activate them, simple conversation with Copilot, and you are able to go. You can test. I would recommend maybe using a sandbox environment in the beginning or maybe a copy company. Try the prompts that are used in front of you today, test the autofill, run a few analysis, maybe also give your feedback to Microsoft in case there was something that you would like to see maybe later on. And maybe this way you will be able to see the quick wins that are available for the system before you actually start implementing it with your team. Now, let's say you are not on Business Central yet, or maybe you are considering this move. Don't just take our word for it. Let's test drive it together. Now, as Exquitec, we are able to provide you with a demo tenant. Reach out for our team after this session. We can provide you with a dedicated demo tenant where you can play with these features yourself. As you can see, all the information that I have included in my demo, they were all based on the demo information. So you are able to receive an identical kind of sandbox for you to test it, try it, and experience how Copilot handles these dirty data, complex reconciliation, natural language searches without needing to set anything up from scratch. So our goal at Exquitec is to make sure you aren't just using software, but that you are thriving with it. Whether you're a long-time user, just exploring the AI revolution in Business Central, you are ready for today. Let's talk about how we can help you turn these features into a competitive advantage for your business. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to your Q&A. I hope we have enough time to answer you all. And also, I think now Jennifer is going to help us.
Yes, sure. Just wanted to check if anyone has any questions before we finalize this workshop. Please, if you can drop them in the chat and we'll answer them. Okay, we have a question. Can we link payables agent to our inbox instead of dedicated email?
Yes, of course. So as long as the email account is set up inside of Business Central, you are able to select it. I wouldn't per se recommend it just because it will incur a bit more costs in case you are receiving multiple emails. So maybe, as I stated, you are able to define what is the folder that you would like it to monitor, and then maybe create a rule on Outlook that will say that anything related to sales that will directly go to this mailbox or this folder inside the mailbox. This will help you reduce the consumption that you will have. But yes, of course, it is available.
Okay. So we don't seem to have any more questions. So thank you, Sharbil, for this insightful demo. يعني Copilot is truly a game changer, and it's a great step forward for any organization looking to work smarter, drive more like value from their systems. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and we really appreciate your time and engagement. Please keep an eye out for our upcoming webinars, including sessions that we're gonna have soon. So we have a upcoming webinar in 3 weeks on Copilot for customer engagement, and another one after about 4 to 5 weeks on Copilot for finance and operations. So if you have any questions or would like to explore how Copilot can fit into your business, please feel free to reach out to your account manager, and would be happy to continue the conversation. I'll also add a few contacts in the chat in case you don't currently have an account manager. Let me share it in the chat. Okay, we have a question, another question, Sharbil. Do accounts payable agents check the purchase order issued to the supplier and compare the prices and quantities?
So I think at its core functionality right now, it does not do that, but you have two methods actually to achieve this, either by giving it extra instructions or also by using the chat feature to request maybe a comparison between them. But based on my knowledge, I don't think this is kind of a standard out of the box feature that is available. But as this is only always getting improved and updated upon, I think this will definitely be added. Or maybe also you can add it as a suggestion for Microsoft to take it into consideration.
Okay. So I already dropped all the contacts in the chat. In case you don't have an account manager, please feel free to reach out to Basili in case you're in the MENA region, and Steve in case you're in the UK. So yes, thank you everyone for joining, and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye bye.